Long-haul flights, the stepping stone to great adventure and absolutely zero sleep. There is still something after so many years of travelling around that excites me about long-haul flights, but you can have a fabulous long-haul experience or a terrible one depending upon the airline you go with. And obviously if you fly economy or business. Business, great, 10 out of 10, I'm sure. I've never been business, I wouldn't know. I pass through because they make you walk through, don't they? So I've seen it, like the Q suites on Qatar. One day they'll give me that. For free, for love of God, please. Why has every other travel blogger and blogger been worked with airlines that put them in business except me? I want that too. But alas, I am not angry. So, on Monday, I am jetting off on a 16-17 hour flight to... Some people did get on Instagram, a lot of people did not. I'm going to Taiwan. Oh my God, it's going to be amazing. So I thought I'd sit down in this video and just talk about a few of the things that I do to prepare for a really long haul flight. I always gotta remind myself, it's not the Australia to England one, it's not a 24-hour jobby. It's fine, so I've done that one quite a few times. Great, it's great. I mean, you feel so human after. 10 out of 10. You feel like something from a different species. Anyway, so I will be flying to Taipei. I'm really excited, but more on that in another video. So when it comes to long haul flights, especially with an airline I've never flown with, I'm flying with Either Air. I know they all have televisions with movies and TV programs and stuff like that, but sometimes the selection isn't good. So to combat this, first thing I do is jump straight onto my phone and go onto the Netflix app and just download a ton of stuff onto my phone that I can sit and watch in case the options that they have are a bit naff. But if you're like me, I can't just keep going from like film to film to film to film. I get bored of watching films, you know, I'm getting a bit uncomfortable, the air is nasty, I'm like meh. And at the start of any flight, regardless, is when I'm most awake, most aware. So I actually have fallen in love. If you know me, you know I've gone away from my Kindle, still love it, but I like a good physical book. Went downstairs and I picked up a paperback that I want to read because I'm actually going through a big list of travel books that I want to read to film a video on, the good, the bad and the ugly. I will have that and I'll make sure I start reading that first thing off as soon as I get on that flight because that's when I'm most feeling okay. The English is good today. But then when you're not fancying sitting there holding a book but you still want to, you know, get all the knowledge, obviously I use Audible a lot. One day they'll sponsor me. Anytime now. Anytime now. So I jump onto the Audible app and what I do is I always make sure I have a new book that I can listen to, and then secondly I always re-download an old book that I want to listen to again. So this time I downloaded Adam Kay's This Is Gonna Hurt, This Might Hurt, This Will Hurt. I don't know. Everyone's read it. It's phenomenal. It's amazing. And I will be getting his second book, which is coming out this month. But I download that. I used to just download Michael McIntyre and have that all the time. Because if you've listened to it once before or a couple of times, you can kind of zone out just when you want some like talking. Or I used to download old podcasts like from Jenna and Julian that I'd listened to 1,000 times because I wouldn't have to concentrate and I could kind of try and drift off to sleep, and it's great, so that's what I do. You're going to want to make sure that you've got all of your battery packs charged, so I always make sure that my external battery has full charge, and I also carry a USB lead in case they do have little pluggy places that I can use. Obviously listening to audiobooks, but more importantly like watching Netflix and stuff like that will drain your battery even on airplane mode, so very important, you need to have the juice. Then whatever airline I'm flying with, way before, as soon as I can, luckily for this trip, I got the flights and all sorted out pretty early. So I go onto the website and I make sure I pick a seat that is good for me and also sort out any meal preferences that I want. Now, I am an aisle lover, especially long haul. You can tell me down below, are you an aisle or a window? Or you're a freak that likes to sit in the middle? I'm not gonna judge. I'm gonna judge if you pick that one. Let me get a little bit closer. Let's get a little bit more intimate, shall we? I love an aisle seat simply because I don't like being boxed in. Hate it, hate it. One, I am claustrophobic, so if there's not enough space on the plane, then I'm like, I don't like this. But long haul, I always force myself to drink a ton of water. Trust me, staying hydrated helps. It is a thing, everyone says it, it does work. I like to get up a lot, stretch my legs, go to the bathroom, being able to go to the overhead lockers to get anything from my backpack. I just like to have that freedom, and I don't mind moving for other people because generally I don't sleep on flights. I really struggle. So I make sure I get an aisle seat and meal and things like that, and I sort out when I can check in and do all the shabouleh. And I also look up time zones. My flight's at like 7 p.m. or something like that, 6, 7 p.m. from Heathrow. So, but then after like 16, 17 hours, I will arrive in Taipei at about 10 p.m. I believe, 9:30, 10 p.m. So I know that after this flight, I will want to sleep. So I'm fresh for the next day. Therefore, I have to adjust my body clock, and if I'm going to sleep, I need to sleep on the first leg of the flight, if possible. Probably not going to be possible. I do not want to sleep on the second leg when we're just coming into Taipei, because by then we'll be getting off, getting to our hotel, and that's when I'm going to want to get some sleep. So I always try and keep in my head what's the local time zone, when I shouldn't be sleeping, when I'm transiting to that place.
Snacks.
Snacks are amazing. Everyone loves snacks. Before any flight, I always like head down to Asda or any kind of local supermarket and pick up some snacks. I love the cherry bakewell thing, bars thing, they're so good. And the coconut trek bars are so good as well. So I just get a collection of sweets. I generally don't eat much on the flight if the meal is okay, but I'd like to have them in there in case I want to munch, and generally I just keep them in my bag for the rest of the trip in case at any point I was like, oh, I just want a quick snack. But in general, I find I don't eat too much. Like what I just showed you is a lot, and I will not eat nearly any of it really at all. But it's good to have as an option. The things I pack in my backpack that I'll be taking on as hand luggage. Now, obviously I'm not going to tell you everything, but some of the stuff I do like to take is calms, daytime or nighttime ones to help me sleep, or in case I get anxious. I'm not an anxious flyer or anything, obviously. That would be a real pain in the butt. I have so much respect for people who are like anxious flyers, who are terrified of flying, and they still travel the world. Like, well done. But in case I get anxious for any other reason, and they can help me sleep. I also take a box of paracetamol. There is nothing worse than if you get a headache or anything like that, and you've got a massive flight coming up, pack some painkillers, you know, whatever's good for you. I'm not a doctor, I'm not giving you advice. Always keep paracetamol in my bag. Also take some facial wipes and a little tub of moisturizer, just so halfway through I can just go to the bathroom and like freshen up the face and put some moisturizer on, because obviously your skin gets so insanely dry. Whenever on a long haul flight I go into the bathroom, do you ever have that moment where you look in the mirror for the first time? It's been like 10 hours you've been on this plane, and you're like, nah, nah, nah. Literally like that. And then you go into the toilet, you look yourself in the mirror and you're like, oh my god, your pores are like huge all over your face, it's like dry, and you're just like, no? Just me? Great. Obviously a neck pillow. I generally don't take them on anything less than 5 hours because I know I'm not going to sleep, like I said, but when it comes to like a 16, 17 hour flight and I kind of want to have the chance to sleep, then I will take a neck pillow. I actually did a video on like £1 versus a £50 neck pillow, and this is the £50 one. It's not £50, it's like RRP £50, but Amazon always have it on for like 20 or something. It is a really good one. I'll try and find the video and link it up for you. And of course, I always make sure to have my headphones with me. That's a standard. However, because I have the Google Pixel, it's a USB-C. Anyone else got USB-C? Now, I don't know, like, I know a lot of phones are going USB-C, which is a tad annoying, because I can't use that to plug into the normal head socket on the plane to listen to the TV. Where is it though? Do you remember when I did my video on my post-trip routine, and Aftershock sent me those bone conductor headphones that I was going to try out and I was really excited about? Well, found out they're not Bluetooth headphones. You actually have to load your audio tracks or podcasts or audiobooks and music, whatever, onto the hard drive within them. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. I've never seen that before. But two, I use subscriptions, so I don't actually have access to the files. And I emailed them, I was like, is there any way I can get around this? I really want to try them. And they were like, oh my god, Ali, we're so sorry, like, we can send you a pair of our Bluetooth headphones. And they bloody did, and they expressed them FedEx as well, so I would have them for my Taiwan trip. Thank you so much. Not sponsored. So yeah, I got these yesterday, so I'm going to open them up today and give them a go. But I think these will be really great. I can't wait to try these out, so thank you, Aftershocks. I really appreciate that. And I'll let you know how they go, because I don't know how I'm going to like that bone conducting thing. Anyway, I'm rambling. Yeah, so those are a few things I do to prepare. Mainly, I just try and make sure my top tips is get the seat you want, whether you want a window or an aisle, book that in early. Also, check out what time zone it is, so you're not really messing up your cycle. Put your ahead onto the local time zone of where you're going and figure out when would be a good time to sleep and nap and things like that. And just make sure you've got a plethora of like books, or take your Kindle, Netflix downloaded onto your phone, things like that. Or if you have YouTube Premium, then you've got loads of YouTube videos and stuff like that. Like, just have a ton of entertainment to keep you going. And if you're a person who can sleep on flights, like Scott falls asleep before we take off. It's like the same about the seats. The moment he sits down and his knees get jammed into that seat in front of him, it's like it's locked in. He's locked in. We're taxiing. We just started taxiing, and I turn to my right or my left, and that's him there. And then like the taking off, obviously, like really sets him off. Then really puts him into a nice deep sleep. And I'm just like, you bastard. And he'll sleep the whole time. I took him to Scotland for the book festival. Fell asleep, Sean. As soon as he got on the train, fell asleep. It's just kind of rude, really. So yeah, those are some of the tips of things that I do before a long haul flight. Let me know down below what are the things that you have to do before a long haul flight. Would love to hear them, and I will see you in the next video. Oh, Taiwan, I'm really excited. All right, loving, leaving. Oh, subscribe, share, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the good stuff. And yeah, see you in the next video. Bye.